Probably helmet. I coached against him in the championship game in the Virgin Islands. His junior, senior year. Hell of a game. Nope, we got beat. Close game. I was at Tennessee.
Yeah, a lot of junior and senior years.
I've had a lot. You know, this game was won on December 26th at 7 p.m. We had the best practice I've ever had in 35 years, coming back after some time off for Christmas. Normally those practices are kind of sloppy. Somebody's late. Somebody has travel problems. Everybody was in there at 7 p.m. when the horn went off. Typically, I don't do a lot of defense on the 26th, usually conditioning shots, some dummy offense, move on to the next day. We had a 2-hour grinder, straight defense, got after each other, came back at 10 a.m. the next morning, went for an hour and a half, got after it, and came back at 4 and did it again. So we had 3 practices in less than 24 hours, and they were on point. And then they put the game plan into the game, starting on the 28th and 29th. I thought their preparation was outstanding, and I could feel like, we were going to play well. I thought in the first half we got off to a great start because we had 6 kills in the first half, 9 for the game. We didn't foul them. They only got, 14 free throw attempts. They only made 5 threes, and we turned them over 19 times. I thought our pressure was very disruptive in the first half full court. They only scored it in the half court .86. I thought our bigs did an incredible job of not only just defending. Like, sometimes those things don't show up in the box score. With Afton, I thought Zach played his tail off defensively. Andrew was unbelievable. Marcus kept some balls alive. We just preached and preached and preached to the bigs. Never out and never up. Never out and never up on all those screens. Can't jump out because then you get behind the play. Can't jump up or out because you're always behind the plate and then they throw it to the next guy. Our bigs did an incredible job of following the game plan. Kid had a good game, but he had scored 14 points on 15 shots and no free throws, so we didn't foul him. So I thought Keller, Reed, Carr, Marion were outstanding. Questions?
Steve, what were you more pleased with, the way your team played in the first half or the way that they were able to maintain the lead in the second half?
See, I haven't bought into that narrative of the first half blues. I think a lot of times, and this is human nature, it is what it is. Sometimes you look at who you're playing. Like, if you go back and really look at our high major games that we played, and we've played a lot of them, we've played pretty well in the first half. I was never worried about that. I guess I'm happy that we're up 20 at half, and then that was a great defensive play at the end of the half by Hunter to block the 3. And then we came out and we extended the lead. No hope, right? If you come out and you give them hope, then you got a game. And so I thought we did a really good job of coming out and extending the lead on, in the first 10 or 12 minutes. I don't really like the way we finished the game offensively. I thought we took some really quick shots. I'm not saying they were hunting their shot. Those guys you got to understand, those guys are so good off the dribble. They can go at any time. But it's your fundamentals and how you finish. Not launching, not throwing up, tough shot, playing off 2. And so it's a fine line. I'm not going to stymie their freedom. So I wish offensively we might have played a little better at the end. Maybe we traded some baskets, but for the most part, I was really pleased with the way we played.
Coming back and having such a great practice or string of practices, is that the maturity that you've talked about with this team, or is it just a determination to go into 20 ACC games on a strong start?
Probably both. They're mature. They have good leadership. They're determined to have a good team. And so I'm sure they were excited to play. We didn't get a chance to play the first round. We got a bye, so I'm sure they were excited to play. And I knew there'd be a hard game. I've been playing Coach Young for I've been a Division I coach for 9 years. I've been playing him for 8. He left me one year and came over to the ACC, and I came over here and joined him. And there's very few people I have more respect for than him. And so I always know these are rock fight. These games are like a rock fight. They're tough. Listen, that was a physical game. Okay, and they let them play. And credit to our players for playing through it, but not only playing through it on offense, but fighting through screens. Boy, they screen you now. And then on those dribble handoffs, I'll have to go back and look. I'm not sure there's one time our guards went under the whole day. And we've been going under on a lot of those, but you cannot do that to them because they'll stop behind and shoot it. You got to chase them off of it, and it's hard. And you got to keep chasing them into the big and the drop, and you're playing 2-on-2, and you force them to shoot those tough twos. They made a couple, but they don't like shooting those. They want to shoot those other ones. Hunter Couture's really good at it. A couple times Cameron and Hunter had chased him so much, he came off, and he's kind of looking like, where you at? Like, I know you're coming. And so that's a credit to them and their maturity.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it seemed like you put the full court press in a lot more today than
Did.
you had. What was the impetus behind it?
I think that something we've been working on. I think they're a type of team that they're a rhythm team on offense. They're really good at running their stuff. So why would you let them just walk it up and run it every time? And this is the thing about pressure. I mean, I've worked for some great coaches. I've been so lucky. Bruce Pearl is a tremendous pressure coach, and you don't have to steal it. You just put the pressure on; they'll give it to you at some point. I mean, because you just get tired of it, right? And we turned them over 19 times. I can't remember Mike's teams ever probably turning it over that many times. And I thought the pressure sped them up. I thought it helped us not let them just walk it down and jam it down our throat every possession. So, and our guys did a good job in it, of adjusting and finding the guys, try to keep it out of Padula's hands the best we could. It's hard, Couture, those guys are really good players, and they're going to have a good year. Just had a tough night on the road.
You mentioned the physicality of the team, and that's kind of been a thread throughout the season. Winning the battle on the boards, both defensively and offensively, the points in the paint, kind of just all parts of the game were a physical aspect.
I thought we played a really good overall game on both ends, and the physicality, we didn't let it bother us. We played through it, and then I don't know how accurate these things are, but it says we had 18 second chance points and they didn't have any. I would say if that happens, you're going to win. I have to go back and see how accurate that is, but we got some tough guys. Cameron's a tough, hard-nosed player. Andrew's a hard-nosed player, Efton and Zach and Boopy. Boopy's strong. Hunter's hard to guard now. He's got really good footwork, and I'm really proud of him for what you just said, and that'll carry, hopefully continues in league play. And again, if you win the glass 18 zip on second chance and you shoot 19 for 21 from the free throw line, you're going to win a lot of games.
Steve, does your team enjoy playing defense? Because it certainly looked like they did today.
Yeah, they've really embraced it. I was mad at myself coming back from Charleston. I felt like I was just spending too much time working on offense, and it was hard to work on defense a little bit because we had so many guys out. He just didn't have no numbers. But I just said, forget it, and we're going back to being gritty, grimy. And I think, I said it, but they executed it, and they bought into it. It was always there. It's not like we didn't work on it. It was just like I just thought that was a missing component for our team. We're going to score. We scored what today? 86? Okay, that's not the point. The point is defense and rebounding. And, I think they're embracing it. We spend the majority of our practice on that. We don't spend a lot of time on offense, some. But, this time of year now, the games come at you so fast. It's about preparation, and getting the game plan into the game and being able to do different things. I will say this. Of all the teams, of the three teams I've had, I don't count the first year because that don't count. This is the most team that we can do the most with defensively, like changing up things during the game, going under, going over, blitzing, doubling, switching to four, not switching to four, hedging to four, not switching, hedging to four, dropping to five, splitsing to five. You can do all this during timeouts, depending on their personnel, and that's really big, and they're good at that.
Don't want to be too hyperbolic, but 20 minutes played, and Zach Keller had 2 points, 1 rebound. Is that potentially the best 2-point, 1 rebound game you've ever seen? And does his performance give you a little bit of comfort when you have Efton Reed in foul trouble like he did tonight.
Totally. And then we still got Matt Marsh there, too, that we could throw out there. And we still got Andrew. We could play some at the 5 as well. So, yeah, no question. I mean, again, I think back to the Presbyterian game, I think somebody asked me about that question, about was I worried about our bench not scoring. I'm more pleased with our bench because they understand their role. And they come in, and scoring is not the number one thing on their plate. Maybe for Parker. Maybe he doesn't shoot it enough, But like Zach, yeah, I mean, I felt Zach at halftime. I thought he played tremendous in the first half. He played so hard. He made it so hard for him to catch it. He was physical. He was tough. He got loose balls. So you know what? If he takes a 3 there in the second half and he shoots a missile up there, so what? He earned it, and then before the game, somebody was telling me, oh, maybe you ought to tell Efton not to shoot threes. I said, okay, well, he made one. All right, so, I mean, some of that is you got to give him some freedom when you hold him so accountable on some other things, right? And they play loose, and that's good.
People try to give you coaching advice.
I told you I stay in my lane. When the plumber comes over, I don't tell him how to plumb. All right? I know that's not a word. I found that out. I don't. I didn't tell my dad how to do the wiring. Okay, I'd probably electrocute myself, right? So everybody thinks they can coach. I get it. That's what I signed up for. This is what it is.
A lot of folks are going to look at this game as a statement game. And whether this team needed that right now or not, how do you kind of manage the never too high, never too low of a game like this?
I just really don't believe in that, you know what I mean? Because it's the way we operate. It's like if we were operating like that, putting a lot of emphasis on one game over another game, then I think, yeah, you would have that problem. But again, I'm more on edge playing NJIT and Presbyterian than I was today. That's just me. And I think they're a reflection of that, okay? And so I'm not worried about that, And plus, we got 19 of these things left, right? I mean, I remember my first year, we went to Virginia Tech, and we played really well. On the day we were in the ACC football championship game. And then we were off for a little bit. Then we came back, and we lost on a tough road game at Miami and Louisville. And this was before Chris Mack. And then I came back, and Connor asked me the question, is this a must-win against Florida State at home? I'm like, well, we only played 3 games. I mean, God dang. So we got a lot of them. And so I don't think I got a good memory, don't I? Yeah, I got a good one. I don't think that's the way you do it. I never have operated that way, and especially in this kind of league where the league is really good. It's balanced. There's some really good teams, and you play so many games. You play 20, right? And so you can't do that. You just can't.
Tech had no 3-pointers in the first half,
Yeah.
only 5 for the game. What was kind of your defensive approach to making it tougher?
That was the number one thing. No contested 3 or no uncontested 3